Hey, so I guess the challenge continues. This is video number 8, I think, and we're moving along. I think we're a couple pages into the chapter on persistence of the Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill, edition 1936, I think, which is available in public domain. Um, we've gone through quite a few things, and now he starts talking about testing and this idea of the hidden guide that forces persistence to appear. So I'm just going to, it's kind of a long paragraph. It's kind of it's one of the paragraphs that I kind of connected with the most and I still need to think about. So I'm just going to split it in 2 or maybe 3 videos, but we're just going to cover the first piece of it. And it says, sometimes it appears that there is a hidden guide whose duty is to test men through all sorts of discouraging experiences. Those who pick themselves up after defeat and keep on trying arrive, and the world cries, "Bravo! I knew you could do it." The hidden guide lets no one enjoy great achievement without passing the persistent test. Those who cannot take it simply do not make the grade. So there's a hidden guide that seems to put us through all sorts of discouraging experiences. Essentially, the guide just puts us through the test. It seems like there's something in the universe that puts us through the test, and if we choose to stand up and pick ourselves up and continue towards our goal, I guess we win. Um, I guess I don't really know what your challenges are. I'm not exactly sure what your context is. I grew up in a medium medium income family or mid-level incomes family. I grew up very comfortably. I didn't miss anything. I had a lot of things comfortable. I don't know what your situation is, but I do know this. The tests, the guide has definitely been present in many different forms. Different challenges are all different levels, but to me it just feels like the same thing. There are certain episodes in my life that have repeated 2 or 3 times before I actually got the lesson, and I still don't know if I got it. But it's just interesting that there always seems, one of the things that I run into with a lot of people that are prospects or like may want to work with me, it's very interesting to see them commit to something, and just before our time to get together and start working together, something comes up. An emergency comes up. And sometimes that's not a totally valid answer, but I have to ask and wonder, is it possible that any part of them, or is it possible that something is testing their commitment to growing themselves, to creating the life that they want? I mean, I see people standing in line. I remember when the first iPhone, the fancy iPhone was coming out, and then people were actually lying and skipping work to make the line so you could get the new phone. I mean, seriously, like as if the phone is gonna change their life. I guess they could say it did, but the phone doesn't really make them any better. It just gives more distraction, more bragging rights, whatever that might be. But when it comes to things that really matter, when it comes to things that have really mattered in my life, I've always been put through the test. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I go through it. It could be money, it could be letting go of friends, it could be cutting family off for a while, it could be investing in things that you maybe don't have the money or the time. It could just be so many things, but you will get tested. This is the guide. The guide is going to test your persistence. Maybe you say you want to start working out and boom, you get injured, or you get somewhat injured right before you go to the gym. Or what a coincidence that when you decided that you wanted to enroll in this personal development thing, your manager just shows up and says, "Oh, important meeting comes up." How committed are you to your cause? How committed are you to the goal? You're going to be tested, and the question is, Are you gonna push through that test, or are you just gonna let it happen and just call it an emergency? Maybe we'll try again next time, or whatever it might be. I'm not really judging. I do this myself, but give it some thought. According to Napoleon Hill, you're going to be tested. The persistence guide is going to test you and see how committed are you to this cause. We'll talk about tomorrow at the next part of that, and which is more fun and much more interesting to think about on this side. But for now, just reflect. How persistent are you? How many times have you committed to something and then something comes up that you just can't go through it? So, I'll see you.